National Rifle Association lashing out at the Washington Post over what it views as unfair coverage. The controversy stems in part from an article that came out earlier this month that questioned why the NRA is talking politics instead of sticking to the Second Amendment. To that, the NRA said this.
For years, the Washington Post has tarnished gun owners in an effort to take away our Second Amendment freedoms. You people do more to damage our country with a keyboard than every NRA member combined has ever done with a firearm.
Dana Loesch is NRA spokesperson, Matt Bennett, spokesperson for Third Way and Americans for Gun Safety. Welcome to both of you. So, Dana, let me start with you. What bothered the NRA about this article that was written in the Washington Post?
Well, Martha, and thank you for having me. It seems as though the Washington Post is upset when the NRA talks about guns, and then the Washington Post gets upset when the NRA doesn't talk about guns. So it looks like the Washington Post just gets mad anytime the NRA talks about anything, because the NRA and its millions of members carry a lot of influence, and that makes the Washington Post mad. They've tried to malign this organization, this member-driven organization, 16 ways to Sunday. They have unreliable sources, imbalanced reporting. The list goes on. So I've always been highly critical of entities like the Washington Post, with the exception of a couple of very good people there, and I do appreciate that on occasion they reach out and they try to get some of the other sides on board. But for the most part, I can't say that about the majority of their content. And so when the NRA calls that out, the Washington Post decides to get mad about any member or the NRA itself, just, I guess, getting off of what its assignment is supposed to be. The Second Amendment protects all the other rights.
All right, let's just put up, as I asked Matt Bennett this question, the original video that the article was written about, and the article was critical of the fact that this NRA video doesn't show a gun until the very end, that it talks about public safety and American values. So what's wrong with that, Matt?
Well, it doesn't just talk about public safety and American values. It says the clenched fist of freedom will be the response to what they're claiming to be anarchy in the streets that the left is bringing about. This really isn't about the Washington Post. The Post can say or write really whatever it wants. The article that Dana's talking about was totally balanced. It says at the very end that they tried to reach the NRA for a comment, and the NRA declined.
And
that's what they always do. But what this really is about is these two videos, the first one and the follow-up, both of them really calling for violence against the left, and that is
absolutely
the kind of thing
ridiculous.
In what way were they calling for violence against the left?
And it was clenched fist of truth, Matt. If you're going to quote me accurately.
I said the clenched fist. No, I said that, the clenched fist of truth.
You said freedom.
Point taken.
Go ahead. How were they inciting violence?
Probably got other things.
If you watch the videos fairly, what they're doing is arguing that everyone on the left is an anarchist who's throwing trash cans through windows. No. Conflating the left with those anarchists who should be in jail. Those people are terrible. Is exactly the same as calling the people on the right Nazis or a Ku Klux Klan. Could you just hold for just a second?
I got to jump in, Matt. Well, no, because Matt, you're conflating peaceful protests and violent riots. I think you and I could agree that those are two different things. No, I actually showed video, Matt, of violent riots on the screen behind me. Two different things.
Your video does precisely what you just accused me of doing.
I showed violence on camera. Do you dispute that, yes or no?
Do I dispute?
Do you dispute the fact that I showed actual violent riots, yes or no?
Of course you did.
Yes, I did, and that's all I showed. So how are you suggesting that in some way I was condemning peaceful protest?
Well, if you watch the entirety of the 2 minutes, it is an inescapable conclusion.
I created and wrote the ad, so I know exactly what it is.
But
I showed violent footage.
Go ahead, Matt, go ahead.
If you watch the full 2 minutes of your video and the subsequent video, there is no escaping the conclusion that everyone on the left is a violent anarchist.
No, only the people burning buildings are.
The people of the resistance and the people who are protesting peacefully against Trump Care and a bunch of other things they don't like are violent. That is no more true than saying that the people of the right are violent because
We've got to leave it there. Thank you very much, Matt Bennett and Dana Loesch. Good to see you both tonight.
Thank you, Martha.
Thank you.